Thank you for joining me for another Quick Hits conversation. Today, I would like to talk about, is I'm sorry absolutely useless? And we were having a great conversation about this off the recording. So, Tim, kick us off.
I think, simply put, the statement "is sorry useless" is not true. I think, however, it does raise an excellent debate, does it not, about how we use the word sorry and how do we mean it. I can imagine, although he'd never say it, a Trump sorry would be different to an Obama sorry, wouldn't it? You'd believe an Obama sorry, but a Trump sorry would be leading towards, oh, and if you wouldn't mind, I'll have this too. So I think the danger with sorry, of course, is that it can be used as a get round the corner here to over here, as a sort of manipulative word for those people that respond to the word sorry in a certain way.
Well, then you're rendering I'm sorry the same as how are you? It doesn't actually mean anything most of the time when it's asked or when it's said. Mm-hmm. But then there are times, if you use it sincerely and honestly, that it's really powerful. Really powerful to say I'm sorry when you mean it, and powerful to say how are you if you're actually waiting for an answer.
Interesting.
So how do we know it's meant?
And see, I don't even know that that's necessarily the direction I would go with that question. I like the idea of, if we assume that I'm sorry is the how are you of conversations in that aspect, then it's a prompt for me to say, is this a time to engage deeper or not? Right? Being bumped into, sorry. Okay, I don't need anything further on that one. But this thing happened. I had a part in it. I'm sorry for the consequences of what happened here. Yes, let's have that further conversation. But again, I have to decide, do I want to continue to engage in that, or do I want to leave it as a how are you? Fine, moving on.
There was a time in my life when I was in a very toxic relationship where he would say, I'm sorry. And I would actually yell back, no, you're not. And for me, I don't even say I'm sorry to people. I usually say something like, I need to apologize to you, because I feel like that has so much more weight. Because I'm sorry, like people say it when I had a woman say it to me because she brought me the wrong shoes. And I'm like, it's not a big deal. Get the other ones. Like, save your I'm sorry's for when you need them.
Yeah, and so therefore, from what you said, Robyn, is you've moved away from I'm sorry to I feel the need to apologize. They're therefore validating the opening sentence of I'm sorry is useless. And I'm thinking about it, if I want to say sorry and I mean it, I might say something like, I really am sorry, or I'm so sorry, or I'll add some stuff to give it a bit more genuine feel about it. But the more I think about it, the more it's actually where it comes from, isn't it? Where the I'm sorry comes from, head, heart, gut, and all that. Is it head? Or is it coming from my heart? And I think intuitively we can read that. We're humans. We're good at that.
Some people say I'm sorry when they don't hear you, like they misunderstand. I'm sorry.
And I think we're convoluting the social lubricant of how are you? I'm sorry sorts of statements that are just niceties with, I actually am engaging in this conversation to reconcile, or lying about trying to reconcile in a manipulative way.
So there's three things. There's the lubricant, there's the sincerity, and then there's the manipulation. And I think that there's real value in the sincerity. There's real value in understanding when you're being manipulated. And I think the lubricant can just go away.
I agree with that. So is it possible to tell if someone is sincere or manipulating in the moment, or is that something that comes on the back end based on their future behavior?
Well, I'm going to just hitch off Wayne's approach to things here and slightly divert it a bit and sort of say, well, there are some people who receive I'm sorry better than others. From what Kristin said, Kristin, if I was genuinely sorry to her, I think she'd take that. I think she'd go, do you know what? He's been genuine. There are others that wouldn't care whether you said sorry in a genuine or non-genuine way. So I think that it's quite complicated, isn't it? We're in a minefield of apology here. If I go and apologize and I give it everything I've got and yet come across a brick wall, is my sorry impotent? Or Or if I find somebody who just the word sorry makes them fall down on their knees and say, "No, you don't need to be. I've got you. I'll give you a hug. Come on." So we've got this double dynamic, haven't we, of meaning it and it being received at the same time.
But I think when we say I'm sorry, just like other things, and we mean it, that's our role. We have to do it because we owe that apology. And whether somebody accepts it or not is totally on them. It doesn't change the fact that we should have said I'm sorry. And to flip that, to understand if somebody's being sincere or manipulative, I do think that takes knowing them, using all our own skills, our own language that we have a history with them. We have to figure it out. Doing one or the other. And way back to if it's Obama or if it's Trump, we kind of know the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
The other distinction that I'm hearing sneaking in there is that sometimes people say sorry and they're doing it in that social way of, I am sharing your sorrow, which is different than I'm apologizing for an act that I did. And I've heard people, whether intentionally or unintentionally, convolute those two and say, I'm sorry. Well, did you do the thing? No, I am sharing your pain is what I'm doing here in an empathetic sense, as opposed to an apologetic sense. So again, with our words today, we have another one that's highly overloaded, and we have so many different meanings that where do we really go with that? And yeah, you got to get that matchup between what is the intention behind it and how is it received.
And you're right, because when people, like in places, when a store clerk says I'm sorry, I will usually say something like, pretty sure it's not your fault, but I appreciate the sentiment. Or I'll say, if that's the worst thing that happens to me all day, I'm having a pretty good day. But you're right, there's a different way that you use I'm sorry to mean I feel your pain. And in that place, I also have stopped using it. I say something like, I hate that for you, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, there's a sympathetic sorry and an empathetic sorry, isn't there? And they're quite different.
Yeah, they are. And then there's the apologetic sorry. So it's definitely an English word that has way too many meanings.
And there's the useless sorry as well.
All right, the useless sorry. So yeah, so then we go back to the question at the top, which is I'm sorry an absolutely useless utterance that we should shy away from and use something that has more power to it, more meaning, more, I guess, less of the ability to misunderstand.
I hate to say it, but it's possibly true. I don't want to believe it.
No, I think that we can expand our vocabulary and the way that we use things, but I still think that I'm sorry can be an appropriate the words I'm sorry can also be appropriate.
Wayne?
Well, I'm sorry to say that I have no particular opinion on that, actually.
You don't have an opinion? I can't believe you don't have an opinion.
No, I have not put enough thought into really, is it something that I would want to get rid of entirely? Is it something that I'm willing to leave as is and change the way that I interpret it? If I'm going to reduce my use of it, it's because I recognize other people may not respond in the way that I would like. So my flexibility is about my ease of having that communication. It's not necessarily that they're having the reaction, it's that it doesn't match what I would expect or hope or etc.
Yeah, and I mean, I would invite people to think about how they use I'm sorry and also how they receive it. And maybe if you're getting an I'm sorry that isn't just the social lubricant, that is more than that they go into, what does it mean? What does it actually mean? What is the person trying to say to them? What's trying to be communicated? Because I feel like it's very easy to misunderstand I'm sorry. And I'm kind of on the pretty strongly on the side of it's useless, but I'm going to be gracious and say for more other people that might be the case. So it might not be the case. So I look forward to hearing what the comments are on this.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Robyn.
No, you don't. No, you're not. So So that's our 10 minutes. I'm going to say thank you for having this conversation with me and having fun with it, because I think it's a pretty deep subject. So thanks so much, and we'll do it again soon.
Sorry.